Today I'm having a bit of a day off, and for my day off I decided to do a project. I'm going to clean this bad boy up and we're going to put it on wheels. Oh yeah, it's going to be a lovely day. Yeah, this bad boy, chop saw, donkey saw, I wasn't expecting to have. It was in the back of a lorry we were clearing out and it just had my name on it. I had to take it home even though it weighs about 200 kilograms. In fact, talking about it being 200 kilograms, we should turn it around so you can see the logo because it looks cooler from the other side, that's for sure. Oh my giddy aunts, you're a heavy boy. Funnily enough, a week before this turned up under a load of damp cardboard boxes, I was looking into chop saws and things like something like this, but more modern. And then this turned up and it's old, it's massive, it's impractical, it's amazing. Rapidor Major or something. It actually says on the other side, Alexander Machinery Dudley Limited, Dudley, Worcestershire, England. There's no dates, no idea. In fact, I'm partially doing this so somebody can fill us in with what it actually is, when it's from. Maybe it's 60s, 1960s, I want to say. Whilst it isn't completely mullered, obviously it's a little bit on the dirty side. And looking inside, I'd hazard a guess that motor isn't the original motor. It might be, I haven't got a clue. The second I got it back, I shoved a bunch of oil in its bits and bobs and I managed to get it running and cutting. I didn't have the right cutting oil though, but shh, yeah, I know that'll annoy some people. But what I really want to do, and we're going to do it today, is give it a bit of a clean. We're not going to paint it because it looks nice and worn, and that is a good thing. We're not going to rebuild it. It's not one of those tool rebuild videos, but we are going to put it on a trolley, which sort of defeats the purpose of it. But having this in a permanent position takes up a lot of space. And what happens if I want to cut a long beam and it's just not in the right place? It's going to be constantly in the way. So the idea is we're going to make a robust trolley for it that is a little bit wider than it, so it makes it nice and stable still, which means when it isn't in use, which will be a lot of the time, it can be shoved in a corner somewhere. Now, I haven't got a blooming clue about bigger machinery stuff like this. In fact, this is nowhere near a big machinery thing. It's bigger than a DeWalt drill. What I do know from research is these donkey saws by Rapidor, or whatever it is. Is Rapidor the model? I'm not sure. Well, whatever. The older versions were painted grey with red writing. And then I think this one's a newer version, well, relatively newer, because it's got the Hammerite green paint and these were painted in cream. Ooh. Gonna spray it with some degreaser. It looks like it's already actually working. Look how quick that is going. It's all blooming coming off. Look at that. This is going to be so much easier. Oh, that stuff's spicy. Oh yeah, look at that.
I continued to use the degreaser and degreased the whole machine from top to toe. Comment below what you think your favourite hammered paint colour is. I am starting to think the green now. I used to quite like the blue hammered paint, but this green hammered paint is spectacular. In fact, you'll see soon that I've purchased a tin of it, and it might just be the coming of my new colour scheme, just Hammerite green. Oh, baby.
Before we go any further, I figured we should probably use it to actually make the trolley for itself. It'll be quite poetic, don't you think? So I've got this box section. This will be a good opportunity to get some more practice in on the welding. We're going to cut 2 bits that way, and then we're going to cut 2 bits that are slightly wider than the actual machine this way, and then put the caster wheels on the outside so it doesn't rock over. I think that's the idea anyway. First thing we're going to do is we're going to measure it from there to there. 84. We've got 84. I think that's going to be... Oh no! Remember that oil that was on the floor earlier? Well, that was from the dash pot that slows the rate of descent of the saw. Right now it's empty, so it literally falls down. There was some weird smoke then. Ugh. Get it up on a stand. Right. Plop it on a stand like so. Obviously doing this, we're going to lose the sturdiness of it being bolted to the floor, but I think overall it's just going to be so much better because it can go anywhere. It's like right now it's a right pain. I can't imagine it being very useful just being bolted in place for me because it's not going to be used enough. So, right. Lovely. For instance, now I've got to move it again because it's got to go further back. Righty-ho, here we go. Right, are we ready? Are we ready? I've got completely the wrong oil, but it's better than nothing. Turn it on. Oh, no, wrong way. Oh, it's wobbling all over the place. Right, like, lower it down, get down and turn it on. Right, why isn't it stopping? Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. The stop switch is all stuck. Come on, turn off. Okay, the off switch isn't working. That's annoying. So as you can see, it's a little bit lethal when it's not on flat ground. This is the stop switch, and when it gets to the bottom, this actually turns it off, but it's obviously a little bit gunged up and stuff. It did work before. It's not working today, so we've got to figure out what's going on wrong there. Same again. Simple as that. Right, time. Here we go again. Literally wobbling around the room. It's wiggling around like crazy. Blooming mental. Come on, turn off, turn off. There's got to be a reason. Ah, it's just not adjusted right. Okay, well, it's turned off now. Cool. Right, so the plan is we've got long, we've got you, we got another one going along, and we got one on the outside. Just need to measure the width of this. So, just the width, 42. This is all metric. Interesting. I've not got any of the right tools here, by the way, but we're just going to roll with it. So this leftover stuff is 74 as well. So 76, 74. So it was 1.5 meters, 150 centimeters, and 42. So we need to get the middle 42. So 74 minus 42 is 32. 32 divided by 2 is 16. So in theory, if we do 16 here, and 16 from this side, something like that. And then hopefully, if my maths is correct, because my maths is horrid, 42, yeah. So we do the same on this side as well. So that's the external dimensions. So technically, we get this, we pop it right there. So if this is all flat and straight, obviously the floor is not flat and straight, that's for sure. That's on the to-do list, is to give this a nice screening. This bit's flat enough, so gonna weld that onto that. So we're gonna start by doing a bit of welding. I did order an angle clamp, but it hasn't turned up, so we're just gonna use this. It's like a 90-degree magnet. So the welder I'm using, I actually bought it for the Big Bogey project, and then I spent 30 quid extra, amazingly 30 quid for this trolley, and now I've put it on a trolley, so now I can wiggle it around. So this is the Bester by Lincoln Electronics. In fact, I ordered this by accident. It actually turned out to be quite good. I think they're about 300 quid. It's a gas MIG, so there's some argon carbon dioxide gas on the back. I ain't got a fudging clue. It does the zzz, it doesn't matter, but I shelled out for a fancy mask, because one might argue the mask is more important than the welder. Comment below your opinion. Anyway. Right, I have not welded anything quite like this before. Actually, I tell a lie. I did put some few zuts onto the back of the rotisserie jig on the Big Bogey. I've set the voltage to the middle. I've set the flow rate to the middle. I've set everything to the middle. And in the words of the internet, send it, brah. So I'm just going to give it a push. Try and get some... I'm not a welder. This is just messing around. So just chill with your judgments. That's a bit on the hot side, no? That's a bit not penetrating enough. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, penetration could be better on that. Got a slightly different setting on this one. Let's just turn the gas on. Send it, bruh. Here we go. Oh, that's better. Is it? I don't know. The sound doesn't sound right. The flow rate was low. Oh, I don't know what I'm blooming doing. At least we're not trying to rely on this weld. That's not, I mean, that's better. Everything's about sound. I like figuring things out myself though. £50 an hour. That's not amazing. It's not incredible, but that's what the grinder's for. At least we've got another 4 corners to practice on, eh? No, it's completely illegal to practice things like this without professional supervision. Right. No, you shouldn't be filming not knowing how to do things. I mean, it's fair enough. Well, that sounds good. I mean, at least I think so. Sounds like what I expect a weld to sound like. Actually, that's not that bad. Oh, that's wavy. That's wavy as anybody's business. But that's not horrific. Ooh, that's hot. That's a spicy tamale. 3 different types of tactics. So this is weld 1. Penetration unknown. This is number 2. Penetration unknown. Number 3. Penetration unknown. Ah, whatever. It's gonna do the job. You gotta send it, bruh. Let's get this welding on the show, on the go. Okay, right. Just trust your instincts. They're always wrong, but it doesn't matter. Now, I don't really know what I'm doing, but these are the last ones that I was doing on the side, and I don't know. They look all right, I think, maybe. Ignore that one. That one's a bit ugly, but this is all practice times. One over here. What we got? Get in focus. No, I don't know. I mean, it'll hold this together, that's for sure, and I'll find out how wrong I am in the comments below. But let's get out the grinder and pretend these never happened. That's not that bad. I mean, the welds got better as it went on, but you know, at least there's 2 strong welds in each bit. It's only carrying this, it'll be fine. And to be honest, I've seen worse welds on a Ferrari, so it'll be all right. Reason I wanted to do this before carrying on with the machine and cleaning it is because I wanted to get a good coat of paint on here so it dries over the next day or 2 whilst we clean that thing up here and there. Gonna use the same hammerite green on this as it is on the machine, so it dries in a nice hammered fashion. Oh, I love this paint. Amazingly enough, even though it is British, it is all metric, which is quite surprising, but we're going to take some bits off so we can get closer to it all. We're not actually going to take it all to pieces. There's no point. I'm not that bothered. I mean, of course, it could all be taken and scrupulously cleaned, but that is just not my thing. It sounds like an absolute farce and an utter waste of time for me right now. But we'll get a few of the big bits off at least, just to give it a bit of a clean. Bit of a zhuzh. Oh, washers flying everywhere. Blooming heck. Lovely jubbly. With this nut off, we should be able to take the whole saw arm off. Mallet. Fucking, where's the mallet? Yeah. It's just coming straight off. Right, so. Straight off that bushing. Oh, and that should just completely come away. Like so. Get these little bits of bushings off. These help it slide, I think. But I've only taken it off so we can get closer to cleaning the rest of it. But, you know, we don't need to completely dismantle something like this. It doesn't need it. Oh, look at all that crud. This is like cleaning your ear. It's got the same kind of pleasantness about it. It's proper grimy, but oh, you can't help but dig in and get all those potatoes out. To be honest, it's not that bad. I have seen dirtier skillets in cafes, so yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, this is what life is about. This is life. Like just getting that stuff. Look at that. Oh, 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 yeah, lovely. Might have to get the Hoover. Just giving it all a bit of a scrape, and then we're gonna... Oh, do I take it apart further? That's the question. Come on. Give me something. What is inside of it? Come on. Oh, is it a screw? I don't know whether that screw will budge, but... Oh no, it's an Allen key, I think. Oh. Oh, lovely. Oh, so smooth. Oh, that is still sliding. Okay, very strange. Well, that's taking the whole mechanism off. But how's the mechanism held in? Oh, of course. Huh. Oh. Come on. Oh, look at that. Typical, I said I wasn't going to take it apart and then look at what I'm doing. This thing right here is the dash pot. It's full of oil and it slows the rate of descent for the saw. I don't know how the hell these things look on the inside. I'm curious now. That lifts the top off. Oh, it's just a plunger. Covered in oil. I see. It's basically a tube full of oil and then it's got this plunger on it that has to travel through the oil, so the oil goes across the top of it, which obviously slows the rate of descent. But there's also an adjustable screw, and as you adjust that screw, it opens the bottom of the plunger. As you can see, it's slowly coming open, and then that lets more oil through, so that's adjusting the speed of the rate of fall. It's pretty cool. It works, so like everything else, we're just going to give it a good old scrub. Time to give it a good old spray with the degreaser stuff. Get it all soaked in there. That just reminds me of working in a kitchen, like using that degreaser. It's nasty. Too busy scrubbing my life away. Ah, so it's cream lower. Okay, so the actual vat used to be cream and the rest of it was green. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Oh, time to give the belt cover a scrub. In fact, this comes off, but let's just give it a clean in situ for now anyway. No, baby. Look at that. Coming up a cropper. Oh no! Oh no! I went too hard. Oh, I've got to stick that back on now.
Oh, it's coming more and more apart the more we go. I'm in denial, thinking I'm not going to take this completely to pieces. So we took the cover off, and this is the pulley that connects the belt from the motor over to the donkey saw. So I removed the belt and pulled the pulley off. Lovely jubbly. It was at this point I realised there was no going back. We may as well commit and just take more and more bits off. So this is the clamp. These Allen keys came off quite nicely after cleaning all the crud from on the top of them. It was very hard to get purchase onto them, but now they're out and we can take this part off. And then I took the dash pot off because it was just sitting there looking all sad and lonely. And yeah, I tried to start scrubbing it down, thinking to myself, I don't need to take it apart anymore. We can clean it just like this. But then I decided to take the whole top off. This was a pain. These Allen keys weren't budging, so we used fire! Human's first invention or something like that. And these came off easily. It looks like they were painted on, so the paint kind of seized them up. So before even trying the other ones, I gave them a good old heat in, and they came away like nobody's business. Look at that. Lovely. Oh, the lovely invention of fire. What a beauty. What discovery of fire. I do apologise. I'm not sure what to say over these sort of videos because it's a little bit more long form than my usual stuff where I've got too much to fit in. Now I'm struggling to talk about stuff. So yeah, for breakfast I had some fruit and fibre. It's quite nice. I quite like fruit and fibre, but I'm thinking of jumping over to the porridge again. Porridge is a solid one. Anyway, let's shut up. So we're going to take the top and pop it onto the trolley so we can take it outside and give it a bit of a jet wash because it is minging. But first, remember to take these washers off that were obviously there to act as shims to make it all flat. And before we do that, we're going to take off the switch that turns it off, and then we can give it a good old wash. I pressure washed all of it and then doused it all in a bit of WD-40 to make sure nothing rusted. Ooh.
Now all the parts are drying off, we're going to get the frame again and we're going to put some caster wheels on. These are sort of heavy duty. Hopefully they'll do. It's not the heaviest thing in the world, but I'm pretty sure 4 of these ones say 150 kilogram limit each, so I'm hoping that will be suffice. We'll just wait and see and find out. So we're going to cut some holes, bolt them to all the corners and then pop the base onto this and just see where we get to.
It's nearly time for the big test. Will it take the weight? Well, let's find out if it takes my weight first. And yeah, jiggling it around, it's not cracked yet, so it thumbs up. Now we're going to put the base onto it and try and line it up. Drill some holes in situ because, you know, if I did it any other way, I'm not very good at measuring, so this was the only way to do it. We bolt some M10 bolts onto it, so that isn't going anywhere. We'll give it a bit of a stress test. Boom. It's not fallen to pieces yet, so yeah, that's a pass from me. Anyway, we're going to get the shims back on. There was 3 washers on that and then 2 washers on that, and then plop the top on. The top was about 45 kilograms, I'd say, maybe 50. Now we're just going to put it back together, use the impact gun and just send it. This is the dashpot. It is still full. I managed to not spill any of it, but we're going to top it up with some machine lube. I have got some dashpot oil, but I think I might put some thicker stuff in it. It falls too quickly, maybe. Anyway, now we're going to put it all back together. I gave it a bit of an emery cloth on the top of that just to kind of get off a little bit of the surface rust. Slide in the clamps, which will go in lovely now. Oh, it sounds lovely. The first one clamps in place. You've got 2 settings for that, so you can actually clamp it there or the holes further back. We're going to put in the thread, wind it up. Keep winding. Come on. Don't be shy. Lovely. Now we're going to put back in the actual saw. I didn't check any of the bearings in the other parts. It runs okay. If I go do any more digging any further, I have a feeling I'm going to find some things that I don't like. But I think you've got to draw the line somewhere, you know. So I lubed up all of the moving parts with some machine oil. Pop the top back on. Make sure it's not too tight, that it kind of squeezes it together. It doesn't move. There's a fine line. Twist it around so we can put in the pulley. Don't forget the keyway. I did forget the keyway the first time, but now it's fine and it's moving nice and smoothly. So we put the belt back on. I didn't replace the belt. It's fine for now. It's plenty of mileage. Put the cover back on so nobody ever knows, and then put the shut-off switch on. I cleaned the shut-off switch, and as you can see now, it works a dream. No adjustment required. Baby. But you may notice something. Yeah, it rocks around a lot. I was expecting it to rock around. In fact, I thought it was going to rock around a bit more. I've got a dancing partner at least. I did have a plan to make some lowering like legs on it to bring it to solidify it, but I figured the rocking's not as bad as I thought, so I might just roll with it. If there is a project that requires me to make it a bit more solid, I will weld a couple more bars in and then have some lowering threads that go down to the floor with some feet on to kind of anchor it in place. But for now, it is fine. Put the covers back on, and finally it's time to do the thing that I've been wanting to do the whole day. In fact, it's the only thing, the reason why I did this whole thing. I felt it wasn't justified until I gave it a clean, and that was painting the logo back on. Oh yeah, so I used some enamel paint and found some cream that was close enough. It's a little too light, but I'm already doing it now. And yeah, just write it in. Oh, look at that, Rapidor Manchester Major. I still don't even know which one the brand name is and which one the model is, but it's blooming awesome. There's another thing we haven't looked at is the electronics. So looking in there, it is fine. I mean, it's not gonna kill anyone. So I just popped it back in, just make sure it's all right. But there was one thing I wanted to change, and that was the fact there was no gland on this shielded cable. So I figured I'd put one in. So we have to push it all the way back in, open up the holes slightly bit more, pop a gland in, poke the wire out, and yeah, that's a lot better now. Look at that, lovely jubbly. Bit more purposeful, you know.
So there we go. Now when I use it, I don't start looking like a coal miner, which is always good. I did this now because I needed a cutting saw to be able to do the next project, which ironically I've actually gone for a smaller gauge of box section on it, so I don't actually need it right now, but who cares? But it's there for inevitably when I need to do some cutting. If you want to see the project that I'm on about and many, many more, then go and check out over on Patreon, because that supports all of these videos and helps to bring these frequent videos to your eye holes. Whilst I don't need it to cut things right now, I've got a dance partner at least.